Welcome everyone to the CCL halftime show. I'm Kyle Fergusson, and I'm sitting down today with Pit Kid, aka Justing. Justing, thank you for joining me. Welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you. There's been a lot of build-up about your, well, literally called a Galaxy Brain Drafter. People are really excited about what you do out there in the game itself, as well as getting things going in the draft, and not like murkies, not the stuff Bahamut gets excited about, like just weird bruiser support things that are just exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Bahamut does get a bit excited when we play the Cho'Gall. I know,
Of course,
that is the one, but to be fair, Cho'Gall's actually pretty good. So maybe we'll bust it out for Bahamut again.
I look forward to it. So you guys basically rebuilt the team. You got Zergling, Buds, Unaverted, and then picked up Weary Day again. But from what I've heard, Weary Day helps control you in the draft. Is that true?
I'm not sure what your sources are on this. I don't know if we can be controlled, or if I can be in the draft.
That's fair.
Weary, well, I guess I'd say Weary is very consistent and stable with what he wants to play, but the support role is fairly fixed, so he doesn't have to play anything too wild. I'm trying to get him to play the main tank or solo support ETC, but he's not really too into it yet.
With prog rock, is that?
Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to that more than Cho'Gall, but we'll let Bahamut dream. So, your upcoming match is against Simplicity, who you fought before and had. Is there a bit of a rivalry going on there? I mean, how are you guys planning for this next one? Keeping your secrets to yourself, of course.
So I mean, I don't know if we'd call it a rivalry in the same sense that we would have way back in the day, but I think we definitely want to beat Simplicity a little bit more than the other teams. But I think facing them early like this is probably in our best interest too, because I know that the longer that the season goes, Simplicity is probably going to be practicing like just a ridiculous amount, because that's what they do. So facing them now is probably in our best interest, just to get out of the way so that we can like prep more for them, specifically nearing the end of the season, for just one match instead of two matches.
That makes perfect sense. Since you are known as the Weird Drafters, do you plan surprises on top of surprises at this point, or do you just let the weirdness, the bruisers, the no main tanks as we know them in Storm League happen?
For now, just gonna let it happen. I'm still kind of in like testing mode a little bit, where like we're still trying a bunch of stuff in scrims. We're not just like sticking to exactly one meta for right now. Right now we're still in like the testing phase. I think by the time we get to the finals, though, we'll definitely have some like very specific cheese and stuff prepared, but
awesome.
Not for the regular season.
Well, and we had the Icebreaker Tournament there where you played a Maiev and a Deathwing, so a time to experiment and maybe get a scrim in there, or was that just like, here's something you've seen before, we're keeping the cards close to home?
That was kind of something that we had tried in scrims a little bit. We'd been going through like variations of doing things. It's kind of the way that like I don't like to just like pick things randomly. I like to have sort of like a meta develop that I think is better than what people are currently playing, or that like beats the current meta. And so that was just like one of the pieces along the way to progressing towards getting to like a functioning meta. So that stuff failed, and we figured out why it failed. But we can take from that and kind of adjust it going forward. So like I've scrapped a lot of the draft plan from the Icebreaker thing.
That's
which
cool.
That's just like one of the necessary steps, I guess.
That's awesome that it's still evolving this late into the game's life. You're still trying to work those pieces. And in fact, we might even have a big patch in a week here, and who knows what sort of pieces we'll be moving around then.
Yeah, can't wait.
Is there anything you're hoping for with that? Like, just if they could just touch something, maybe clean something up.
I'd hope that they would revert the XP changes, but I know that the patch isn't going to have that. So
the orbs.
No, yeah, like the way the forts work with the XP, because right now, just in general, it feels like early game isn't too important because if you fall behind, you get the comeback XP, which you didn't used to get. So I'd like them to change that eventually, but I don't think they'll change that again. I'd like them to hopefully make the draft a little bit less linear for the first couple picks, like Hogger, Sonya, Uther, Lucio seem like they're like pretty common bans. So hopefully they nerf those so that we can have a little bit more variety in our early picks, because it feels like all the teams are kind of doing the same first picks right now.
Would a Sonya nerf ruin her chances of being main tank as you drafted her last week?
Probably. Sonya's like, so we do partially play her like that because she's so strong. Her kit, how it works right now with her W build is kind of new, since they buffed the 16 a while back. So she's kind of in like a unique place where they'd have to nerf her probably more than just numbers in order to get her to a fair level. Because she just seems like she just sort of stat checks everybody. But she also has like percent damage at 16 now, so she would have to get nerfed in more ways than just numbers, I think.
The percent-based damage and that whole splash and like, I'm gonna attack this minion sort of and destroy the whole enemy team by hitting the minion instead. Is that the issue there, or is it actually the healing part of Giant Slammer?
No, I think it's mostly the 100% splash. It feels really silly to me playing it when I play it, like how strong I feel as Sonya. I don't know, just walk around pressing W on their buildings, and then all the people trying to defend the buildings are like half HP. And it just doesn't feel right, so hopefully they fix that.
It reminds me a little bit of old Kel'Thuzad. You get them up to their wall, and they're actually in more danger than they should be.
Yeah, or Release Cassia was the same thing, where she would just splash on your gate, and you couldn't defend your own buildings.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about the Blaze in your first game versus Chili Mountain last week, because that's not a hero we see a lot, and it's a tank. It almost seems traditional.
Yeah, so Blaze kind of fulfills the same role as like a Johanna, or to a lesser extent what a Mei does. He was also really good. Well, he was good there specifically because on the shrines you have a lot of chokes where you're trying to play just to control space. And also they had double auto attackers, so the oil slow at 13 is really strong. The attack speed slow. So it was just kind of good in the comp for that. And also, I hadn't actually practiced with too many normal tanks when we were doing our scrims, because we've only gotten a couple scrims before the Icebreaker. So we didn't have a ton of time to practice normal tanks, but Blaze was just, I don't know, it just seemed like it was the best one to play at the time, because it feels like the tank pool for normal tank heroes is relatively choked right now, which is part of the reason why I'm doing all the weird stuff. It feels like there's only like maybe like 3 or 4 tanks that are actually good right now.
And in your opinion, those not things like ETC, the Storm League hero, things like Mei you mentioned, Johanna, and who's the other one right now? Is it Blaze?
Well, no, like the 4 actual good tanks right now, like overall for every team is mostly like Diablo, Mei, Varian, and probably Johanna. And they all kind of, Varian's kind of different, but the other 3 all kind of fill a very similar, well, I guess Diablo is a little different, but Mei and Johanna are like very similar, and then the other 2 are sort of similar to each other as well. It's just kind of like either tanks that just like never ever die, which is like Mei and Johanna, and they're like really safe and they have wave clear, or it's like pick tanks like Diablo Varian that are just super tanky. And I guess a Noobarak, but I'm not a believer yet. I think a noob is bad.
He's weird because he's always like hiding in bushes and like being sneaky tank. We're done with auto attack Diablo, right? Like that's over. It's flames forever now.
I don't think so. I think you could still go auto attack, but definitely not into Mei.
Sure.
Which seems like a pretty common matchup right now, because yeah, her blind and stuff is just her attack speed slows. It's too annoying. So you probably W build for now.
We talked a little bit about the Sonya and how you were out in front. You even went Wrath that game, so it's not like you were leaping to set up or CC helping. You were just running at them as hard as you could, which makes sense with all the slamming. But in the game 3, you picked up Zul, who
Hmm.
Bone Prison Cassia, getting rid of all her armor. It looked like an amazing pick, but why poison there?
So normally they had a lot of range, so typically I wouldn't want to go Poison Nova because it should be hard to kind of hit all of them. But in that game, I have a Medivh, so he can kind of enable me to go a lot deeper in the backline than I should be able to otherwise. Also, I'm trying to remember. It kind of just felt like the way that the fights would play out, I was just going to end up in the middle of their team, and they were going to have to either try to focus me, or I was just going to press W and just clap everybody and heal the full so they wouldn't be able to kill me. So I kind of figured that it would just be better with the way I was positioning, which I think it was. Like, they ended up either like chasing past me and all getting Poison Nova'd, or trying to kill me and just getting that protected and getting Poison Nova'd anyways. So it just did a lot more damage there. I didn't feel like I really needed to be engaging fights with mages.
That's cool. So it's actually multifaceted. I thought maybe it might be a response to just high five being all the rage, and you could go, here's multiple people damage. Good luck with your high five.
Oh no. I mean, I think it was pretty good against the type of healing that they had, but that wasn't like the main reason. I think it was just about how team fights would play out.
Awesome. Well, Simplicity also went and 3-0'd their opponent, Onyx Esports. Is there any predictions you have about this match coming up?
I think we'll win. I think I don't know exactly how much Simplicity has been practicing. They, when playoffs are coming, they definitely practice a lot. So I think we'll be in a pretty good position right now. I think I know Kier is a little rusty because he was playing herbs and stuff, and I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but he's been playing the Weeb game. I already put in my time in that. Me and Priz played in the HeroesHearth herbs tournament, and we got second in our thing, but I'm already done playing herbs. I'm not sure about Kier though. He might still be going at it, so
you're full-time
yeah.
heroes and they're not, you know. It's going to be the throwdown.
I mean, for Kier maybe, I don't know. We might be back to full-time heroes as well. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you guys in the match. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me.
Yep, thanks for having me.